any one of them? Have you been able to establish evidence against them? And one by each, take them to court and prosecute them and make example out of them. If you don't do it, for goodness sake, at what point in time are we going to free ourselves from this bondage of kidnapping? Because as we speak now, why some of them are crying is because the kidnappers have gone haywire. They are no longer considering whether you are rich or poor. They have gone into Abuja. Abuja is the seat of power. They know that any moment from now, a legislator can be kidnapped, minister can be kidnapped, members of the House of Reps can be kidnapped, and because it's very close to them. And any moment from now, you can touch them. Thank you.
Dr. Tony, thank you so very much. We're streaming live on Facebook. Mainland 98.3 FM is how you can find us. You can join the show. Situation Room is what's happening right now. We're having conversations about the spate of kidnapping in Nigeria and also what the law says about ransom payment. As you've heard, a lot of people who constitute government have been reiterating the illegality of ransom payments. But people are asking another question. What is the alternative if we don't pay these ransoms? Can you ensure that you'd be able to protect our loved ones in the den of these kidnappers if we don't make the payments? All of these questions will be answered if you continue with us on the show this evening, as Dr. Tᴏɪᴛᴛᴇʀ is with us, the Director General, International Institute of Professional Security. Dr. Tony, I will be name dropping a lot on the show today because I want these statements to be attributed to the individuals who have made them, and I need the public to understand the positions of those at the helm of the affairs. Now, the former Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, Issa Pantami, he necessitated the entire country to register for NIN and BVN, and he said it would help to track these kidnappers who use their victims' phones to demand for ransom. Years down the line, that initiative have not yielded any positive results whatsoever. As a matter of fact, he was part of a crowdfunding for the money that was paid to kidnappers for a family of 5, I believe, that were abducted. He actually was part of the crowdfunding for the defense. He says he made that initiative possible, but security agencies are not using it, so that is not his fault. What do you make of this statement? Is it that we're not using the technological provisions available, or we just do not have those provisions in tracking these kidnappers?
Well, for me, I don't want to talk much about Issa Pantami because Issa terrorism in the name of jihad. Before his appointment and during his appointment, there were a lot of outcry against his appointment. The President Buhari stood his ground for reasons best known to him. And of course, we saw the results. All through his stay as minister in that digital economy, communication and digital whatever, to what extent was he able to use that facility to prevent terrorism in Nigeria? So remember what happened during the railway, Kaduna railway, whatever. You know, if you look at some of these things about in Nigeria, I'm not too convinced as today that, you know, we are all out against terrorism. Maybe the government may be interested in, you know, making sure that terrorism is dead. At the meeting, they don't have their people. They have spread so much to the country that they have people in the villages, they have people in the city, they have people in places of power. So any information and any strategy you want to address, they would have had for start information. And that means that the government must begin to think outside the box. So if the government is interested in fighting terrorism and reducing kidnapping, then strategic decisions should no longer be taken where you know that those that have questionable, or you take it outside conventional places and look for people that can implement it. Look at what happened during Osama bin Laden. Osama bin Laden was more or less becoming a ghost to the American government. Why? Because Al-Qaeda had infiltrated the CIA, Al-Qaeda had infiltrated FBI. Until Obama took it upon himself to think outside the box and had a plan that was outside FBI and outside CIA. It was at the level of execution that it became clear that this thing was not something that was orchestrated or planned inside the facility of CIA or inside the facility of FBI. And of course, you can tell me the result. So if you know very well that terrorists have infiltrated your government or have spread around the country, and because of that, there is no free place you can hold meeting, you are not sure of who is who, for goodness sake, think outside the box. President Goodluck in his own administration, he was humble enough to admit that Boko Haram already in his government, members of Boko Haram or people that are sympathetic to the cause of Boko Haram are already in his government. And it will interest you that these are people that when you talk about attack on Boko Haram, they will begin to preach about non-kinetic approach. And meanwhile, when you are talking of kinetic and non-kinetic, it is kinetic that will determine whether there is a non-kinetic or the kinetic approach in terms of counter-terrorism. But because they are sleepers, their friends will come all out. They will go to the United Nations. They will go to Amnesty International. They will go to UNEC, shutting villages and killing people and raising children, homeless and all those stuff like that, fatherless and motherless. You will see them keep quiet. You will see them move. But when the military is coming all out against them, it will shock you that one person from House of Assembly, one person from ministerial, one person from one, they will not begin to say, and Nigeria should obey human rights. Nigeria should not do that. We should take them to court and all those stuff like that. Now this speaks volumes about, what government ought to do. As we speak today, if Mr. President is going to exhibit political will to be able to do what? Attempt to terrorism that will eventually eradicate, and I will use the word, eradicate totally the issue of kidnapping in this country, is for the government to think and operate outside the box, not inside the box. Because I can tell you for free that first-hand information is coming to this terrorist group and organization, and it's making the execution of counter-terrorism operations relatively difficult, and our boys are dying, the policemen are dying, the military men are dying, because somebody is going to give them information that they are going to operate in this route tomorrow, and there are time that will be coming. Or alternatively, they will not be in this barrack. You can attack this barrack tomorrow, and they will not be in this place. You can do this tomorrow. Who are those people that are giving this information? You have a lot of them around. There are some of them. You are selling a lot of things. You think that they are just selling the house, and where do you stay? They don't have houses to stay. They ride Okada. They sell cucumber. They sell carrots. They sell garbage. They sell a lot of things. Where do you stay? No house to stay. No one. You will see them in their hundreds, gathered together. Some it is on their bike, they will sleep till daybreak. In the next morning, they will still ride that bike. A bike of 500,000, a bike of 300,000. And you look at the man that is riding the bike, his own kept. What is he using that money to do? Who is giving him that bike? How did he get money to ride that bike? Why can't he afford to get a house? If he commits a crime today, how do you profile him? If you ask him, he will tell you, my name is Mohammed Shiri. There are 40 Mohammed Sadiq and other stuff like that. Now these are things that government should deliberately do. So what are we doing? They are just playing blind eyes to say, the fact that you have freedom of movement, it doesn't make it absolute in any society. But Nigeria today, because of religious bigotry, because of ethnicity, what do you see? You see the right thing and you do what? You blinding your eyes. And that is the problem we are having today. And as far as I'm concerned, I think that is one of the impediments that is affecting the war against terrorism in Nigeria.
Only recently, the papers told us that the Nigeria police actually shares or borrows tracking devices.
Sorry, what did you say?
The Nigeria police, the newspapers told us recently that the Nigeria police they admitted that they do not have tracking devices and they have to borrow or share the ones that the DSS are using because they've been unable to subscribe since 2021. If we compare the weaponry that these bandits are wielding to that of our security operatives, is nothing to write home about. These abductors are even more informed. Like you said, they have more information, they are more coordinated in intelligence gathering, almost better than our men in UNOLI. Every year, security gets the lion's share. But somehow, our security operatives lack the mechanical support, the tools that they need to fight these bandits head on. Dr. Tony, how do we reconcile these two sentences? So much money is allotted to security agencies, but these same security men are saying they do not have the tools and the financial support, and even when it comes to weapons, to actually fight these bandits one-on-one. What's happening, Dr. Tony?
Well, let me start by saying that unfortunately and painfully, security had the largest share when it comes to national budget, especially since 2012. in 2012, the war on terrorism in Nigeria started precisely with the first bombing of October 1, 2010. Then, of course, you also have the United Nations bombing, which was on the 26th of August, 2011. After that, you now have the regular, almost on weekly basis bombing until the strategy has been changed now. Now you are talking about kidnapping and all this stuff. But government is not understanding that each phase that unfolds, it is because one phase has been successful and you need to go to the next phase. That's what the terrorists have been doing. Now the issue of technology and the development of technology, yes, the police said they don't have a tracking device that they will need, so they will need to ask DSS to help them. There is actually nothing wrong in when you have a security agency symbiotically working together to achieve a common goal. It's our father's business, it's not individual business. So it makes a lot of sense to me, and it's good enough that once they are able to work together to achieve the same goal, it's okay. But
Dr. Tony, I'm sorry. Dr. Tony, please allow me to interrupt you. Please, I'm sorry. Let me interrupt you.
Okay.
Maybe I didn't paint that picture properly. They say they have to wait most of the time because the DSS are also actively trying to secure the people. So most times when the police get information,
they
have to wait until the DSS are done and then give them the devices. So they usually cannot respond immediately when they get information that something is going wrong somewhere because they don't have the tools.
I understand. I understand.
So,
I'm always of essence. I understand it very well. The police, I think they have to now look at prioritizing what is more important. Because as we speak today, in as much as we agree that if you look at the exchange rate, this against the whole budget of the police, in short, it will interest you that the whole military budget is not up to a local county budget in any way yet. I'm not talking of the state, I'm talking of the local county as like a local government, the whole budget of the military. So if you look at it from that perspective, and you want to look at the budget of the military as a whole, convert it to purchase of some of these equipment, you see that they cannot buy it. They cannot buy it. But that is not an excuse because you are talking of something that you need mainly. And over the years, you have been doing this job in and out. Now, if technology is something that will aid your work, why don't you put it as part of what you need to procure? And just look at and put pressure on government. Government should be able to do that. But I don't think that for now, I don't think that they've been able to run that. It is hard. But if you look at it at international level, the money is nothing. It's nothing. If you are talking about $1 trillion today or $1 trillion today, if you do a conversion of $1 trillion at the end of the day, how much are you going to get? So if you look at it from that perspective, you know very well that the money is not kept beyond the money, beyond the technology. The human intelligence is the most important. We are talking about drones. We are talking about the application of technology. It is human intelligence that will tell you how to deploy technology.
Right.
The last bombing that effort came, the army came out to apologize that they made a mistake. It was human intelligence that led to that error. They said they got their coordinates right, but at the end of the day, after the time of executing, what happened? The intelligence has shifted, and there was nobody to say that this thing has shifted, and it ended up in civilian casualty. So if the police look at the human intelligence and analyze the human intelligence to the best of their ability, with the little technology they have, they will be able to achieve a lot of results. But that is not the issue. The main thing is that Nigeria factor today is not helping us also to achieve the best we can achieve. And that is why at times when we want to defend the security agencies, we also look at the reality on ground. What we can just say is please up your game. It's not good enough.
Well, Nigerians are reacting to this increasing spate of kidnappings in the country. Some are relocating, some are protesting, some are forming unauthorized militia. Others are demanding, the legalization of arms bearing, for example, among others. With this agitation that is filling the air, what consequence do you think is going to come out of this? The police are saying, trust us, don't pay ransom. The fact that you're paying ransom, for example, Muyiwa Adejobi, the Nigeria Police Force spokesperson, says the fact that people are even paying ransom is demoralizing the police and you're not allowing them to do their jobs correctly. But clearly, this is a testament to the fact that people do not trust security agencies to protect them anymore. So with this agitation and people wanting to bear arms and people forming unauthorized security outfits in the country, don't you think that this would pose as even more of a challenge and make it difficult for security agencies to protect the people? Or what do you make of the way the people are reacting to the spate of kidnapping and also the speed of our security agencies in taking care of reported cases?
You see, when the police say trust us, your payment of ransom is not helping us. It's also further encouraging kidnapping. The police is not wrong. But the people that also say, okay, we want to trust you. But what is the antecedent that is on ground? And to what extent have we seen results to be able to trust you? They are not also wrong. Now the signature of the terrorists in terms of killing, maiming and destroying people that are in their captivity, now making it so obvious to them that if you don't pay this ransom, it's also not wrong. I give you a story. There was this recent attack at some people were abducted, and the police also the kidnappers they ran after the kidnappers and the kidnappers ran away with the child or something like that. When they saw that they could not longer withstand the pressure of the police, they shot the two of them and ran away. So if you look at some of this, casualty is what is the major reason why the people are always afraid and they want to quickly pay. So if you ask me, I will say what the police need to do is this. If you get the report that somebody has been kidnapped, don't wait for the family, don't wait for anything, spring into action. On your own, spring into action. Now if over time you have been able to have such record that gives the people confidence, and they now come and then you tell them that look, don't pay this administrative procedure tomorrow or next tomorrow, we are working on it and we have tracked the number is not here, we are waiting for the technician or the technologist that will help us get the coordinate of where the number is, and we have not got it from CD or from IG or from people will get frustrated, and the next thing you are looking at is people will start looking for how to anybody that has been kidnapped, who wants it to a family member that has been kidnapped, is not going to be talking the way we are talking. He's going to have a different mindset because it will discourage the act of kidnapper when they know that they are not going to be getting money. So for richer, you can't for any reason downgrade or downplay that side of it. And interestingly, there are Yahoo boys that are still making it, they're still wearing pampers and they want to ride a jeep. And these are the people that are patronizing all these human parts agents and all this stuff like that. So that at the end of the day, they will tell you that we have nothing to lose. But if you are aware that look, if you don't give these people money, and they kill, and the department of allowance and all those ritualists and all this stuff like that. So you see that you don't have choice other than to think inward and say, look, whatever it takes, please let us pay this person and bring that in. We listen to people that have been kidnapped. Or people that are paid ransom, their mentality is different from what the first person of the police is talking about. As right and as perfect as his argument is, and I agree with the strategy, we can look at being involved on the ground, being involved in the whole negotiation, being involved in the payment procedure. When you are involved in it, you know where the money is going. You know how to follow the money on your own. You let the money slide and go. You cover the family. Then you take it over immediately at that point in time. But don't forget that these people are also smart. They know very well that you might have as well informed the police. So they have a lot of conventional channels through which they will get that money. So but the police also, they are smarter. People like that. It's not that they say, please let your loved ones die. And if you die, don't worry, we are police. We can send you, what do you call it?
Condolences.
Yeah.
Dr. Tony, whilst you were speaking,
No
you
comment.
said sometimes it would seem like the police, and I don't know if you read his piece where he says the media, they're exaggerating the kidnapping incidents in Nigeria, and in fact, we're better off than coalition of civil society organization. They claim that over 2,000 people have been killed and over 1,000 have been abducted in the 8 months of this Tinubu-led administration. This is relevant because Bayo Ononuga is the special assistant on information and strategy to the president. He's supposed to equip the president with details, help him come up with strategies, work hand in hand with security operatives. But this man seems to believe that we are exaggerating, telling him it's not as bad as you think.
Well, for me, I won't join issue with Bayo Ononuga because there are different, not looking at the variables, crimes. If you say that there's higher level of kidnapping in America, now so we must balance it up. 200 people and you are maybe 500 people. Then you say you want to, but we should not be comparing ourselves and juxtaposing ourselves with bad examples. If we are talking about comparing ourselves, it should be on things that are good and relatable. Academically, even if the record in America is higher than that of Nigeria in kidnapping to be the full position of situation, the answer is no. So it has nothing to do with juxtaposing Nigeria and UK and America and all this stuff like that. I know that in 10 years time they will still catch you. They will catch you. And it has nothing to do with the status of the person kidnapped. If they did not catch you now, 10 years, 20 years time, they will catch you. Even if you are dead, they will still bring it out. So these are different plans entirely. So if we are emulating them, let us emulate them totally and finally. If we are not going to do that, then let's not begin to compare ourselves with them. Let us just face our own particular problem and have our own indigenous and domestic approach to solving this problem. And solving the problem of kidnapping in this country is not a rocket science. At all, it's not rocket science. They all know what to do. But there are people that are benefiting from this venture of kidnapping. Those that are security, those that are politicians, those that are terrorist sponsors and the like. These are areas government should look at. Look into these areas. When you look into these areas, you will know those that are into kidnapping. You make an example out of them. Jail those that are to be jailed. Kill those that are to be killed. Let there be sanity in the society and there will be peace in the nation. Instead of us doing all this laziness juxtaposition.
Dr. Tony, finally, before I let you go, what is your stance on state policing as a solution to this problem that we have?
I am an ardent supporter of state policing. And the reason is, I'll give you an example. When the Enugu attack during a good luck, when Enugu was attacked by the herdsmen, the information was that the governor was informed. The governor contacted the city. The city said they needed clearance from Abuja. The IG said they need clearance from Mr. President. Now look at it. Before the clearance came back, the whole village has been sacked. More than 80 human beings have died and the terrorists are gone. So now if you look at state policing, it does not need any IG to get permission from. All you need to do is ask the commissioner of police in that state to go ahead and do the needful. Then they can face them fire for fire, battle for battle. And another thing about state policing is this. When you have state police, you see that traditional institutions and local vigilantes, hunters, mountains, they know their strength. They know the gods they worship. They know what to do, whether metaphysically or scientifically, to ensure that crime does not occur in their villages. They know what to do. So that is why, for me, as far as I'm concerned, questions of funding, that would be a lazy man's excuse, because as I see, the 36 states in this country, they all have their own private paramilitary organization already. almost all of them, those ones that don't have yet, they are starting recruiting. Recently, Zamfara had its own forest protection guard. Lagos State, we have avalanche of them. We have Kai, we have Lasman, we have Amotekun in the whole of Southwest.
Right.
We have a group in the Northeast, there. The whole of Northeast. We have a group there. We have Sokoto Masha. We have Pizza. We have all of them. They all have their.
Please let me interrupt you for.
Paramilitary organization. They make difference that they are not armed. That's all.
Please let me interrupt you for a bit. We actually have to go on a quick break to take the headline news. Please stay on the line. We'll get back to you so that we can have your final words before we let you go. Thank you so very much for your time. The Situation Room continues right after the headline news. Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to Mainland 98.3 FM.
Headline news on 98.3 Mainland FM.
3 Mainland FM. My name is Omobola Sandra. Under pressure, Nigeria government holds urgent meetings over living costs. Senate adjourns security briefing by service chiefs. Kaduna governor blames poverty, hopelessness, others for insecurity in Northwest. EFCC raises special task force against dollarization of economy and mutilation of currency. Falana says ECOWAS must sanction Senegal for illegal postponement of elections. On the foreign scene, Hamas gives over-the-top response to proposed Gaza ceasefire plan. And in sports, Pesero makes one change for Super Eagles versus Bafana in AFCON 2023. That's the headline news on Mainland FM. Details at 5:30.
When your whole world comes crashing down, is look up. Assemble the team. It's showtime. The brains waking up.
What'd you have for breakfast?
We are the sound of Lagos, and this is Mainland 98.3 FM. Lagos,
You didn't see that coming, did you?
The drama, the suspense, the emotions, the gang moments. Don't miss out on Nollywood movies and web series on YouTube with the YouTube buffet plan from MTN. You can enjoy over 10 hours of Nollywood content made for you. Sharply dial *312*800# to activate the YouTube buffet plan from MTN and start enjoying YouTube made for you.
Hey there, tech enthusiasts! Get ready to ignite your world with the all-new Tecno Spark 20.
That's right! The Spark 20 with its stunning display and powerful features is here to redefine your smartphone experience.
We've also partnered with More Connected.
Grab your Tecno Spark 20 today.
Financials to draw the attention of the Nigerian Search 5226 to
correct vegetable. We've also partnered with More Connected.
Nations 2023.
The drama, the suspense, the emotions, the gang moments. Don't miss out on Nollywood movies and web series on YouTube with the YouTube buffet plan from MTN. You can enjoy over 10 hours of Nollywood content made for you. Sharply dial *312*800# to activate the YouTube buffet.
Meals have a way of taking us on in queues. Cubes.
20.
That's right! The Spark
Even more
today and step into a world where
The drama and web series on YouTube with the YouTube buffet to activate the YouTube buffet.
The stakes are higher than ever. Conversations are louder. Form decisions is
Set by our people.
but setting the agenda.
Land 98.3 FM. Also, the Illegality Institute constitution at this time. How can we interpret this statement such that the people are not aggravated and making decisions that might cause future harm, all in a bid to rescue their loved ones? We had to go on a brief break, but we have Dr. Tony back with us just for his final words. And the simple question really here is how do we go about minimizing the incident of kidnapping, to tell the government what they think is the best way around the situation? situation. So if we had the privilege of talking to those at the helm of the affair and they asked the simple question, what do you think you want us to do in order to minimize the spate of insecurity in the country, what would that answer be? Dr. Tony, welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. And I'm directing that question to you now. If you had the opportunity...
Thank you very much. There are different approaches to it. The approach from the individual perspective, which has to do with campaign and the conscientization of the individuals about certain basic security awareness to prevent kidnapping, such as maybe you live a low key, such as maybe you don't make sure that your personal life, even if you are very wealthy, to a large extent is not made on the social media. Don't live your life on social media. And of course, don't don't go night clubbing, don't work at nocturnal hours, at places you are not familiar with as much as possible. Don't switch too much so that in the event of any eventuality, you are able to maneuver your vehicle. And of course, always ensure that if it is possible, you have a double phone, your main phone is kept somewhere, and of course, you have a pseudo phone and all those stuff like that. That's at individual level. Then of course you make sure that in your home you have a surveillance system as much as you can afford it. If you cannot afford it, have report with those that are the security officers or vigilantes in your area. Let them be as friendly as you can, or always be conscious. If you have people that are always lecturing around your compound, make sure that you make sure your security is very, very safe as much as you can. Now, for the government perspective, I think that one of the things the government can do is, talking about follow through in terms of deliberately reaching out kidnappers hideouts in the forest, in the bush, and even in some specific places. Now, the DSS and the police in each locality can work together. It is not until they kidnap somebody. No, not at all. There are instances where you put the criminals on their tools. That is one approach towards it, apart from the fact that technology can be used. Then you also look at, like I've said all these things before, the banking part of it should be looked at very thoroughly and seriously. At the telecommunication part of it, it is the major tool through which the demand for ransom. The government should also look at it in such a manner that we are able to bring out a law that gives the security agents, especially the police and DSS, uninhibited access to telecommunication providers, access to some of their data and information, and are able to, get some of these things. The only thing I saw the Isa Pantani did then was when he talked about the recording of Peter Obi and the bishop of Winners Chapel. If they have such facilities, then they should also use those facilities for the purpose of doing what? Getting the kidnappers out of such places. Then another thing I think the government can do, which I would want the government to do, is look at those that are in the security agencies that have been fingered directly or indirectly as having supported anybody in kidnapping, either in collecting money, either in giving information, or in giving arms and ammunition, or in trying to protect that person, or trying to release that person when he is not a lawyer, trying to release that person from any custody. Those type of people should be dealt with in some mercilessly. Now, if government is able to come all out, then you also look at our border. Our border is very porous. To what extent are they going to look at increasing and bettering the border security of our nation? We have more than 2,000 illegal routes in and outside of Nigeria. The government should look at all this. Now, if I'm in that position, those are the things I want to look at. And I also want to ensure every point in time that, there's better social welfare for the youth. Everything that I think can encourage the youth going into kidnapping, I will try as much as possible to do what? Provide it. And I will not say those that are greedy among them with the whole of my strength, with the whole of my power. But for the things, look, there are a lot of things government can do to create employment in this nation, and it's not going to cost much in this nation at all. Plenty that government can do. we have more than 23 solid mineral resources as commercial quantity in this nation that are not their net or that is only being stolen. Now, these are areas that government can even employ the youth, give them basic training, and they become tools for such national and economic development. I'm not even talking of Africa. Agric is one open-ended venture that can go national and international. But our youth are the intelligent set of children, except for the fact that government is not looking inward to open up a channel through which they are able to make money. If that is done, I can tell you that all those things will be there, will be looking at the past. Then religious leaders, those people that are preaching to those people and asking them to, if they choose, they will go to heaven and they will have 1 million virgins at the end of the day. I think government should visit those people and make them to change their message and make them change their message in such a manner that they begin to preach, humanity. They begin to preach righteousness and all this stuff like that. When we talk about drugs, these are areas that I will look at very seriously. This Canada, this whatever name they call it, then we look at whole against drugs in this country, because there are some of these crimes they cannot commit it except they are under the influence of drugs. I'm happy that they said now that is going to ban, or government has banned alcohol in sachet, in bus stop and all those parks and all those stuff like that. But the government should follow through. And when they say they have banned certain drugs, they should ensure that they remain banned, and they should follow through, make safeguards out of people. If 10, 4, 5 people, 20 people have gone to jail, even if it is for one month they are going to jail and they come back, it will be a different ballgame entirely. If government is able to put all these machineries in motion, I think it will reduce to a drastic level.
Dr. Tony Ofueto, it's been such a pleasure having you join us on radio. Thank you so much for your expertise and all of the insight you've given us about this topic. We look forward to having more conversations with you about the state of security in the country as new development comes up. Dr. Tony Ofueto is the Director General, International Institute of Professional Security, and we had the pleasure of him analyzing the subject matter for the topic of the Situation Room today. Thank you so much, sir, and I hope that you have a wonderful day.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me, and have a very great week ahead.
Thank
wish
you.
Nigeria a big success against South Africa.
Thank you so very much. Thank you. Well, so you have it. You've heard from our experts. Now it's time for us to hear from you. Do you agree with all of that? Questions that have been answered? Do you agree with the strategies that have been proposed with regards to dealing with insecurity in the country, especially kidnapping? The phone lines are open now. 0913-6000-410 is how you call us. WhatsApp text messages 0913-6000-430. We're streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. You can join us and leave your submissions using the chat option. Let's take our first call for this evening. Hello. Hello. Good evening, sir.
Yes, good evening. My name is Ambrose.
Pastor Ambrose, nice to have you.
Paige,
yes.
I listened to your guest. I want to suggest two things. If this government must succeed, in addition to what he has said, if we create employment, don't you know we have switched all of this? And how do you create employment? Give us light. It will take the whole budget of the year for you to go and produce enough light that artisans, industries, manufacturing companies, and all of that will be able to work, and light that will be able to light our streets. Do it. Then two, make sure that the security of Nigeria, so that people can go back to farm. If they are able to do these two things, because the myriad of problems on ground now, they don't even know where to start from. You know, Mr. President just came in, he will come again. In fact, I've been listening to his speech. I won't listen to any of his speeches again, because I want to see results. You know, so for me, if this whatever will work, we should look for at least these two things. It's just some of those things, and they should give dollarization. Are you aware that even some universities now, they are collecting dollars now for tuition fees. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you so much, Pastor Ambrose. We appreciate your submission. Hello. Hello.
Hello, sir. Hey, good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Nice to have you.
This is from my brother.
Yes. Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Okay. Yes, follow your guest. At least, looking at the state of the nation, our country, the only time Nigeria feels secure, then when Obasanjo was in government, the nation was secure. There is no terrorists, there is no bandits, and that's why the Niger Delta is there with their own palaver. At least when Yar'Adua came in, they was able to solve it. After the Jonathan left office, the issue of bandits came again. Okay, Boko Haram, before they now migrate by Islam, different kind of name. But the only problem we have, Buhari gave them the power to, opportunity to have their way in this country. In the first tenure of Buhari, he was able to deal with those Boko Haram. Boko Haram will not migrate to bandits, to terrorists. They will not have a division. He gave them that privilege. He just take them for granted.
Hold on. I want you to be clear so that what you're saying is not being misinterpreted. I just want to understand. You're saying that his inactions, the fact that he didn't do anything, is why it escalated. So people don't think you're saying he supported them. That's what I'm trying to clear. Yeah, like I'm just trying to clear that his inactions, in a way, is why these people are emboldened. That's what you're trying to say.
I don't hear you very well.
Go ahead. Not to worry. I already cleared the air. Just finish with your points, please.
Okay, let's just round up. Now, in the first tenor, why this thing is continuing increasing day by day? The government did not take the vote by the own. In the first term of Buhari, this issue happened in the east, between the east and the Fulani. They say they killed their cow and they revenge by killing the woman. What happened there? The president just take you for solemn assembly. From there, the something spread. Now it's getting out of hand. Now, if the police say that they shouldn't pay ransom, is the police even enough to secure the life of the people? So what that happened in Ogun State, is it not 2 weeks ago? The police himself be among the people kidnapping people. So are we safe at all? So both the police, both the military and the people, they are working for each other. The only thing we just believe, okay, they are getting ammunition. I pray that we will use this properly. I want that the security itself have to work. The people feeding this terrorist information, they should work underground and feed them out.
Thank you.
Even though the money they are paying, they also work with the bank. Whose account are they paying it to?
Thank you so very much. We appreciate you. Let's answer other phone calls. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. This is Paul calling from your brother.
All right, welcome, Mr. Paul. Please go on.
Yeah. Let me offer solution to this menace, okay? I think the federal government should employ the solution of the record we used in Anambra State while he was the governor of Anambra State. This kidnapping was like, I don't know, because I was in Anambra that time, it was like every morning a family must be kidnapped for a ransom. And when Obi took over, Obi enacted through the House a law in Anambra State that solved the issue of kidnapping. Hello, are you with me?
Yes, I am.
So what he did was that any family that your son or your daughter is involved in kidnapping, everything acquired through that kidnapping process of house you built or filling station or hotels, the government will move in there with bulldozers, bulldoze it, and take over that place. That land is lost forever. It becomes government property, government land. That was what he used to solve the problem of kidnapping in Anambra State when he was the governor. and all the kidnappers in Anambra State, they fled because he really dealt them. So if you want to fight crime, you should be ready to do the necessary. So the federal government should actually teach them the method to use. Then second solution.
Thank you so very much. We appreciate you. This is our last call for this evening before we round things off. You have 2 minutes. Good evening to you.
Good evening.
Yes, nice to have you.
Yeah, this is a place for Moja. We don't need to be fighting the variables, leaving the main causes of the problem. See, it is one problem that leads to another. I think when they say WHO, World Health Organization, right? No matter how well equipped the police may be to tackle crime or fight against kidnapping, if the country is not moving forward in the right direction, it is just a mirage. You don't blame the police for whatever reason. It is that the government of the day does not have the political will to do certain things. From my perspective, are you with me?
Yes, I am. Please round up.
Yeah, from my personal perspective, the government lacks the political will to tackle some problems headlong. When Abacha was in power some years back, we saw how the country was. There was relative calm everywhere because the man was just like an iron leader, and people feared him, and nobody wanted to commit anything crime or even to speak anything bad in the public. You'll be thinking twice.
Thank you, sir.
So what I mean that the government should come up to.
Thank you so very much. I apologize, but we're out of time. Thank you so very much for everyone who participated. I'm going to try to, in a minute, read the Facebook messages that we've got before we take the full bulletin at 5:30 p.m. Onotoye Temitope Michael says, "It's not a curse, but the truth of the matter is that kidnapping will continue since it has become cash out, and the government, whose responsibility is to protect lives and property, have failed completely. Is it at this period that life is biting hard on citizens that people will be happy to pay ransom to bandits in order to free their loved ones? Is there anyone in government that will see his or her loved ones kidnapped and will prefer to see him or her killed? I think I need to express my view that corruption amongst the political leaders is the major cause of the problem of insecurity in the country. The government should step up and law enforcement agencies should make life more comfortable for the citizens. God bless Nigeria." We also have Nick here saying, "Hunger and hardship is influencing the act of kidnapping in our country. Please let the government do something now." Nick from Ogun State is the author of that message via our Facebook platform. We have come to the end of the show, and I see that the phone lines are still buzzing, but I'm sorry, unfortunately we cannot take any more phone calls. I'm glad that everyone has this eagerness to participate on the program. We all have so much to say, and I can assure you here at Mainland FM we have quite a number of programs that allows for you to contribute to topical issues going on in the country. But for the Situation Room for today, this is where we draw the curtains. My name is Sage Babalola. Join us again tomorrow 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. where we pick up another interesting conversation, have an expert join us and give you expert opinion on the topic of choice. Thank you for staying with us until tomorrow. The full bulletin will be coming to you at 5:30 p.m. Don't go anywhere. This is the sound of Lagos, Mainland 98.3 FM.
Dear Nigerians, I am determined, I repeat, to give you the affordable and reliable power.
The stakes are higher than ever.